Mina would also have reached her position in 8 minutes. This is a good chance for 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐂𝐿 to prove himself, but he is scared, nervous, and in pain at the same time about this mission. Despite this, he was excited because this was the same thing that 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿 always wanted to do. Then they get a report of 𝐂𝐸𝐲 being seen in Sector 8. They all jumped straight from the building. 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿 is also excited to make his first mission memorable, and after that, he starts descending from the building carefully, while Mina had reached her position from where she was going to shoot 𝐂𝐸𝐲. The military fires in support on 𝐂𝐸𝐲 to harm Hanju as much as possible, but Hanju was hardly affected. Kafka's batch was also waiting for 𝐂𝐸𝐲's arrival in Sector 8, but this time 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿 was not scared. Rather, he was able to feel the immense power of the suit, and even then 𝐂𝐸𝐲 kicks him and throws him in the garbage bin. Kokoro was scolding him that his combat power is at 1, yet he had gone so far. Some of the senior officers get upset, seeing his actions. They taunt him and ask him to hide in a safe place, hearing which Kara's ego gets hurt. These officers were also having difficulty facing 𝐂𝐸𝐲 because they did not know their weakness, and then Kara killed them very easily. Those officers were also quite surprised to see Kokoro's power. He praises Kiko and she starts blushing after hearing her praise from Kafka's mouth, and then the system detects that Kiko's heartbeat is increasing very fast. So Kiko shouts and asks 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿 to shut his mouth. Actually, Kiko was not the only one like this. Everyone in the new batch was doing well, because they were also competing with each other along with the battle. Reno was also using blue bullets instead of green bullets according to his type, which slows down the speed of his prey. Reno wants to make himself strong as soon as possible, so that 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿 never needs to become a cashew. The platoon leader was also impressed with the new batch, especially with their personalities. But this was not the only thing special in this batch. Those who are doing well here are motivating others to do better, but it was only 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿 who was not able to help anyone. He was also disappointed with himself due to this. Then he remembers what those officers had said, that how till now they had to do better. 𝐂𝐸𝐲's weakness is not known. He finds a dead 𝐂𝐸𝐲 behind him, and using his suit's 1 PR power, he tears apart 𝐂𝐸𝐲's body. This 𝐂𝐸𝐲's body was like a fungus, but its core was not there where every kaiju usually has it. Then 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿 is surprised to see one thing. He tells Vice Captain Hoshino about 𝐂𝐸𝐲's core, which was at the base of his neck, which is covered by a hard fiber. That's why to destroy the core, they have to be attacked from the side. And the surprising thing was that these 𝐂𝐸𝐲s have reproductive organs attached to their lower part. If they are not destroyed, more 𝐂𝐸𝐲s will start being born from the killed 𝐂𝐸𝐲. Hoshino was impressed by Kafka's work and the information about his reproductive organs, and that 𝐂𝐸𝐲's core is sent to the entire team. Now, 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿 was also feeling good that he is able to be useful to his team. He thinks that he will destroy all the reproductive organs. It can work to destroy. Suddenly there are explosions. Everyone together was trying to weaken that Hanju, but no attack was having any effect on him. Mina also took aim at him. I want to tell you that Kamina is able to use the power of 96% of her suit, due to which the attack done by her weapon is very powerful, and this is the reason why Mina has to take permission before attacking. The first shot destroys Hanju's body, and in the second shot his core was destroyed. In the third shot, it is confirmed that Hanju has been killed, but despite this, Mina did not stop attacking. She was probably trying to show 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿 who has become a better defense force officer. At the same time, Hoshino comes to 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿 and asks him if he will ever be able to gather so much power that he can stand next to Mina and fight. 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿, on the contrary, asks him if he can do something like this himself, to which Hoshino refuses with pride. Either in long range or Hoshino's combat power is not very good when it comes to large kaiju, but when it comes to small or medium-sized kaiju, then there is no one better than him. He did not even move, yet he broke 𝐂𝐸𝐲 into pieces and scattered them on the ground. Vice Captain Hoshino, whose special weapon is 2 small katanas, although that huge 𝐂𝐸𝐲 has been killed, but the fight is not over yet. The countless Yajus growing inside that 𝐂𝐸𝐲 are now coming out rapidly. By now, all the new officers are tired. Their combat power has become very weak. Vice Captain Hoshino tells us that most officers spend their entire career with a combat power of 20. Only Garo was one such officer who broke this limit as soon as he came. but Hoshino sees potential in Reno as well. On the other hand, we see Reno and Haru together. Both of them were going towards Sector Foxfort because a report has been received that a new kaiju has been seen there. But when both of them reach there is a person there before them. A cleaning staff was present. They don't know what it is doing here, but we know that it reproduces inside dead animals. He is searching for organs and was surprised to find that all the reproductive organs have been destroyed. 𝐂𝐤𝐸 gets angry and asks him to go to a safe place, but that man points his finger at Haru and shoots him. 𝐂𝐤𝐸 survives as the bullet hit him just above his heart. We see that this is the same unknown kaiju that was seen during the exam. Both of them recognized him. They both try to report to the base, but this kaiju has isolated this area from the outside world, due to which those people will not be able to contact anyone. Now that kaiju attacks Reno as well, but Reno's speed forces them to doubt his aim. Although Reno was injured, but as Kiko had told him in the cafe that before this unknown kaiju attacks, his fingers pump. By noticing this thing, Reno was able to save his sensitive organs again and again, but that kaiju had also understood this thing, that even Reno's bullets have no effect on him. He asks 𝐂𝐤𝐸 to go from here and call for backup. He immediately refuses, but then another deadly attack is made on him, but Reno saves him from that. Reno once again requests him to leave from here. 𝐂𝐤𝐸 accepts his request and leaves from there. Even Reno was scared. Even Kaoru could not stand in front of him. But despite this, he is standing here and fighting because he wants to become a defense force officer like Kafka, who saves the lives of his comrades without caring for his own life. On the other hand, 𝐂𝐤𝐸 falls while running. Actually, he was lost in deep thoughts. Reno, who could use only 8 PR power of his suit, today it has increased to 18, whereas he has been stuck at 20 for the last 2 weeks. Vice Captain Hoshino had told him that most officers are able to use only 20 to 30 PR power of the suit in their entire career, but everyone has the ability to break it. 𝐂𝐤𝐸 thinks that ever since he joined the Defense Force, he had dreamed of joining the team. Since then, he has been pushing himself to become stronger and stronger every day. But Reno passed him by as if it was no big deal. On the other hand, that kaiju also realized that his normal attacks will not work on Reno. That is why he takes out his 2 more hands, and this time he pumps all his fingers together. But before that attack hits Reno, 𝐂𝐤𝐸 saves him. 𝐂𝐤𝐸 had realized the deficiency inside him. Actually, from that day till today, 𝐂𝐤𝐸 has not been able to change himself. Every time someone had to come to save him, he says to Reno with a smile, "Reno, you are not saving me. I am saving you." Now that kaiju also realized that Reno was trying to drive Haru away, but it was of no use. This kaiju has created a namespace in this area. Without the wish of this kaiju, neither can anyone come inside it, nor can anyone go out of here without his wish. Now Reno and 𝐂𝐤𝐸 are one. Together they attacked that kaiju. 𝐂𝐤𝐸 was giving backup from behind. He too was trying different bullets like Reno. These are conductor round bullets, which paralyze the enemy's body. Kazu thinks of killing 𝐂𝐤𝐸, an easy target. First, but by now Haru had also understood the timing of his attack, and he paralyzes his legs for some time with the conductor bullet. To take full advantage of this opportunity, Reno was trying his best to break the limit of his combat power. Parts of the kaju's body start scattering here and there, but after the smoke clears, we come to know that that kaiju had collected a pile of dead Yojo in front of him. He suddenly comes out and snipes Reno's body. On the other hand, the Force had also realized that Reno and 𝐂𝐤𝐸 have not been able to contact each other for some time. Kafka was worried about them. Then he sees the body of a dead Yojo reacting. Kafka and Kiko, both of them, had understood who had returned. On the other hand, Reno had almost lost his consciousness, but he was still trying to stop his bleeding and then trying to stand up. 𝐂𝐤𝐸's conductor rounds were also ineffective now, after which he damaged 𝐂𝐤𝐸's hands and legs, and the more Reno was trying to get up, the more he was tormented by Kazu. Haru was angry at himself that his friend was being killed in front of him, and he was not able to do anything. He had accepted that Reno was stronger than him, and maybe one day he will also become a captain. That's why he did not want Reno to end like this. He picked up the gun and attacked Kazu, but the bullets of that gun were over, Everything was over. Kazu had pointed his finger again. Haru was begging God or evil, whatever supreme being really exists, for his friend's life. Kazu was about to kill Reno, but this time there was a demonic entity behind him. There was a girl standing there who had separated 𝐂𝐨𝐲𝐲𝐫 from his body with a single punch. Kafka Hibino apologizes to Kazu number 8 Runo for being late and lifts him in his lap, but that Kazu was not dead yet. Kafka asks for some time from Reno and asks him to heal his injuries with the suit. Reno was thinking that the one for whom he was becoming strong. Today, because of her, he had to become a Kazu again. This unknown Kazu had also heard about Kazu number 8, but this one turned out to be more powerful than his expectations. He says that being a Kazu, why are you coming my way? Well, you will get your punishment for this. I will keep his body like a toy. The next second, Kafka's right side gets pierced. He was using his full power against Kafka. Haru was surprised that that unknown Kaiju was just playing with him till now. Reno asks Kafka to run away. While we could clearly see anger in Kafka's eyes, is this the same thing with which you were torturing him? Kafka stopped such a powerful attack of his with just a scream. Kafka comes close to him, and after that multiple Pancho Kaiju once again creates a pile of corpses in front of him and starts healing his body quickly. But Kafka tore that pile. He was not getting a chance to recover. The armor made of his body also gets torn, and it was impossible for him to regenerate himself so quickly. He wanted to retreat from the fight, but Kafka gives him a chance. Kafka hits his ultimate punch on his core, due to which he fell far away, but he was not able to take that attack. He had suffered to the limit, but now his core is completely exposed. Now Kafka was about to finish him off, but before that happens, they come in the sight of the defense force. Due to so much beating, the noetic space of that unknown Kaiju was broken. On the other hand, we see Kiko, who was searching for Kafka. She was worried that Kafka might come to the side of the defense force, and then everyone gets the report of guy number 8 being seen. Meanwhile, that unknown Kaiju got a chance to heal himself, and he had also understood Kafka. He makes the officers a bait and does a seducing act there, and finds a narrow lane where he will hide his human form. But there he meets Vice Captain Hoshino, who was waiting for him. Vice Captain Hoshino has caught Kazu number 8. This report worries Reno and Kiko. Hoshino felt that Kazu number 8 is the same Kaiju who was torturing Reno and i.e. Haru. Next, at that very moment, his sword was close to Kafka's neck, which Kafka was able to escape unknowingly. He was hardly able to match the speed of Vice Captain Hoshino. As he had said that he is better than Minaj in case of small and medium-sized Kaiju, it was seen to be true here. The combat unleashed power of his suit was at 92. Kafka was also thinking that if even one of his punches hit Hoshino, Hoshino could die. In the meantime, Hoshino had cut his body. Before his second attack, Kafka retreats, but Hoshino's speed does not give him a chance to escape. Still, Kafka tries to escape by dodging him, but a fast attack of Hoshino, which Kafka could not even see, cuts off his hand and the part close to the core. Kafka regenerates his body and realizes that he will not be able to escape from Hoshino. Now he gives up trying to escape and faces each attack. Now a small detail related to the anime, as we have been hearing about the Kaiju of Hoju and Yojicism till now, but there is another type of Kaiju whose fortitude is above 8.0. Those Kaiju are the most powerful Kaiju, in which Kaiju number 8, i.e. Kafka's, is also included, and maybe that unknown Yuju too. Hoshino heats up his weapons and attacks with double invisible slashes, due to which one leg of Kafka was cut, but this attack was just a bluff by Hoshino. He comes close to Kafka and attacks his core with a missed slash on which Kafka also had guessed. After his core was exposed, he had guessed that Hoshino would directly attack his core. He caught hold of Hoshino's sword with his body. Now Kafka charges his body. Hoshino was also badly trapped there, but Kafka does not attack him, but attacks his weapon, and due to that pressure, Hoshino is pushed back before he can control himself. Kaiju number 8 had fled. The next day, sun had also started to rise. By now, all the Yojos had also been killed. Kiko was sitting on their dead bodies and thinking about Kafka. She was unable to understand whether she should trust Kafka or not. She realized that Kafka had saved her life, but he is a Kafka. Just then a tired Kafka comes in front of her. Seeing him, a smile came on her face. 𝐾𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐀 holds him before he falls. Kafka apologizes to 𝐾𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐀 that he could not take revenge from that unknown Kaiju. 𝐾𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐻 blushes and says that there is no need to be sad. His end will be in my hands. Kafka smiles and starts going into the emergency void. She was worried about Reno and 𝐂𝐒𝐿, but 𝐾𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐻 does not let him go. Even after going, what will he do? 𝐾𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐻 says that she should worry more about herself. 𝐾𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐻 tells her that the Defense Force is experimenting on Kaju's generator power, so the real danger is there. Kafka is here, and because of his stupidity, he has come under the eyes of the vice captain. If he gets even one proof, he will directly reach Kafka. On the other hand, Hoshino was still deep in thought about the battle when Mina comes there and starts clicking his photo. Mina asks him about Kazu number 8. Hoshino thinks that Kazu number 8 is a Daikazu. Mina was surprised to hear this because if this is true, then this will be the first Daikazu seen in 5 years, and the last time a Daikazu was seen was 5 years ago in Fuko. Hoshino tells that Kazu number 8 is a little different. He does not attack people without reason like other Kazu. That is why he was upset with the real likes. Even when he had the chance, Kazu number 8 did not kill him, and his movement was also like a human. Mina Hashin. Koresh asked him to take rest, and as far as Kazu number 8 is concerned, he is also a Kazu and their job is to kill Kazu, which Hoshino also finds to be true. Then an officer named IGGA gives a report in such a hurry that Mina and Hoshino's ears almost burst. He had to tell that the Kazu that Haru and Reno encountered was the same Kazu from the exam, and when he came in front of them, he had taken the form of a human. This was a scary thing. Till date, no one has ever heard such a thing, and how will such a Kazu be found who can hide among humans in human form? Like now that unknown Kazu has taken over the body of another human. He has been given the code name Kazu number 9 by the Defense Force. On the other hand, Reno had also regained consciousness, and he is happy to see Kafka in front of him, and he thinks that Kafka is absolutely fine, on which Kafka hits him, because he should say this. By the way, Reno thanks Kafka. He says that he thanked Kafka for saving his life, on hearing which they are shocked because Haru was also admitted in the same room, and he also asked Reno that why is he thanking Kafka when his life was saved by Kazu number 8. Kara handles the matter by saying that Kafka found the reproductive organs, which made it easy to kill them, and Haru also believes her, after which he starts praising the power of Kazu number 8, on hearing which Kafka starts swelling up, and 𝐂𝐒𝐿 notices this thing again, and 𝐾𝐈𝐒𝐿 makes him mad again. Now after this, the scene goes straight to the night where everyone had celebrated the success of their first mission in a hotel. But the person whom Kafka had asked to organize all this was Haruichi, the heir of Isom Tech, which is the biggest company of this country. Due to which the party was becoming very grand and expensive, and Kafka was completely unaware of this identity of Haruichi. 𝐾𝐈𝐒𝐿 tells that 𝐂𝐸 Tech makes cashew suits, and these people are richer than 𝐾𝐈𝐿e's family. After this, everyone eats and drinks to their heart's content. Seeing everyone happy, Reno was also happy. Then Vice Captain Hoshino says that the party has just begun. Suddenly Reno sees that everyone is arguing among themselves in intoxication. But the thing to note was that even in intoxication, these people were talking about the mission. After the first mission, everyone has recognized their shortcomings. Reno realized that he is not the only one who wants to be powerful here. Here, Kafka challenged Baru in the claw, in which he loses badly. Outside the hotel, Haruichi was talking to the hotel owner Dojima. From their conversation, we come to know that Ruchi has left everything and joined the Defense Force, and since then he has not even talked to his father. Then suddenly he sees Baru behind him, who is probably going to the washroom, and he might have heard their conversation. Well, Hoshino asks everyone to calm down and makes a big announcement in front of everyone. During the mission, many lives were saved because of Kafka, which the Defense Force noticed, and they decided to make Kafka a full-time officer. That is, now Kafka is also an officer of the 3rd Division. Hearing this, the joy of celebration increased fourfold. Everyone was celebrating Kafka's happiness together. The next day, Mina also gives him the Defense Force badge, and after taking his oath, mischievous Sharmila Kafka was leaving from there. Suddenly Mina tells him that he does not need to be so happy. The dream of standing next to her is still far away. Kafka was surprised that Mina remembers his promise. Sheila Kafka, taking Mina's name, says that it will happen. Mina smiles and asks him to do 50 push-ups as a punishment for taking the name of a senior. Suddenly Mina takes the name of 𝐂𝐨𝐩𝐲𝐫. Kafka got scared hearing this, but we come to know that Mina has been called to the headquarters for the meeting scheduled on 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐸 and 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐸9. In his absence, Hoshino will be the in-charge here, and Mina tells Kafka that he has been made a full-time officer on Hoshino's wish, so he will have to live up to her expectations. After this, we see that today again Kafka is studying late night, and when it gets very late, Kafka starts leaving from there before the vice captain arrives. But then his eyes go to the training room whose lights were on. When Kafka goes there and looks, the vice captain is doing his intense training there. Kafka is surprised to see that Hoshino was recreating the fight with Kazu number 8, and in that imaginary fight, he had blown off Kafka's neck, seeing which Kafka's condition starts getting worse. Hoshino notices him and asks him the reason for his waking up late again today. So Kafka also asks him the same question. Hoshino tells that he is making a strategy so that he can cut Kazu number 8 into many parts on seeing him. We come to know that during the fight Hoshino restrained himself. If he had used his technique 6, Kafka would have been killed by now. Kafka knew that Hoshino cares for everyone. That is why he himself wants to kill Kazu no 8 and Kazu no 9. Kafka tells Hoshino that he will help him completely in the fight. Hearing this, Hoshino grabs his neck. Now Hoshi, who uses power on one, will help both of them. Kafka tries to get out of there somehow. Suddenly the voice captain says that he can at least keep hope on one, after which he asks Kafka to rest in his room. But a big danger comes straight to his house. Many flying kaiju are coming to give them a human-like kaiju. Here Hoshino had not slept yet. He was reading the reports of Kaiju number 8 and Kaiju number 9. He was still worried about how the reflexes of Kaiju number 8 were like humans, and how can Kaiju number 9 take the form of humans? After all, what kind of kaiju are coming in front of them in these few days? On the other hand, Kafka had also become serious. He has to live up to the expectations of the voice captain, but right now he will have to go and sleep on his bed. Suddenly Kafka's eyes go upwards and he sees many meteors coming towards him. Actually, these are the same flying kaiju which are falling on the base like meteors. Hoshino also comes to know that a huge army of kaiju has attacked the base, and the fortitude of each kaiju was more than 6.1. That is, each kaiju is a Hanju level kaiju. Due to Captain Mina not being here, all the kaiju were attacked. Hoshino has to take over the command. He calls all the off-duty officers back to the base and asks those present there to gather in the training area. Hoshino was confused that he had not yet received any report of damage outside the base. So did it mean that the main target of these kaiju is the Defense Force base? On the other hand, Kaf was surprised to see so many white-type kaiju here. He believed that it was impossible. He tells the vice captain that white-type kaiju are seen a dozen times a year, but there is a special thing about them. They always attack alone. And if these people are attacking together in a group, which means only one thing, such a powerful leader who has encouraged them to come together by making them forget their pride. That human kaiju asks Hoshino if he is the most powerful here. Another human language-speaking kaiju was standing in front of Hoshino. Hoshino says that at the moment he is the most powerful here. Scientist Chromie tells that the power of this kaiju is very high. Fortitude is 8.3, i.e. it is a Daikaiju. Hoshino gives the responsibility of handling the officers to IG Ruka, and he has to stop all the Hanjas from reaching humans. Then the Daikaiju creates a pressure with his finger from which Hoshino had repeatedly avoided. He gets impressed by Hoshino and hits him with a powerful punch, but Hoshino saved himself and his officers as well. Daikaiju opens his eyes. On his scream, all the Y1 type kaiju get activated, after which he tries to hit both Hoshi with another punch, but it hits the building, and the building gets crushed. Hoshino realized that if even one punch hits him, his death is certain. Like the number 8, the Kaiju was not able to cut its skin. On the other hand, all the officers together were not able to stop the Hanju. Then 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐀 tells everyone that they will have to attack Hoju from behind. Actually, the skin of these white-type Kaiju is covered with a thin layer of skin. It is very thin from the back. This is done for its weight, so that it can rise in the sky. 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐀 tells that its core is also at the back. Haru-cha and Baru try to attack the back of these Kaiju separately, but all of them were working together and no one was able to go behind them. Then Kikyo says that there is another way to kill them. She was moving fast. She had a new weapon in her hands with which she broke the hard part of that Kaiju and destroyed its core. We come to know that the kind of Kaiju we are seeing these days, Captain Vice Captain had decided that he would give a special weapon to the most powerful officer of this base, which is given only to Captain and Vice Captain. Despite being such an amazing weapon, there was a reason why Kikyo did not like it at all. She feels that this weapon is not suiting her. By the way, let me tell you that this weapon is made from the uni-organ of Hoju, who was killed in Shinigami 2 years ago, and its specialty is that during this attack, Kiko releases shock waves which make each of his attacks 10 times more powerful. At the same time, another Hanju attacks Kiko. Kiko destroyed his core with the shock waves of this weapon. Seeing Kiko, Reno says that it is as if death has taken its weapon in hand. Then another Hanju comes to attack from above, but before that Reno freezes him. Even Goru was surprised that since when did Reno become so capable that he froze a Hanju. However, Kara blows off his neck and tells Runo that if he can match his speed, then Runo will be useful to him. Hearing their words, Haru-cha and Baru also team up. We see that they had destroyed that Kaiju, but the real danger is that Daikaiju, with whom Hoshino is fighting alone, and right now that Kaiju is pushing Hoshino back, and he is enjoying doing this. This is surprising. It was a strange thing because a Kaiju does not have such emotions inside him. Hoshino gives orders to open gate number 3, but despite this, that Kaiju broke such a valuable gate. Suddenly, that Kaiju comes behind Hasho and says that till date, no Kaiju has been able to stand in front of him for so long. If he eats both the Hoshis, he will become even more powerful. After which he makes a strong attack on Hoshino, but at the right time Hoshino put his sword in between. He got injured, but his life was saved. Once again, such a powerful Kaiju was impressed by Hasho because one of his hands had fallen on the ground below the cut. We come to know that Hoshino had restrained himself from the beginning. He was trying all the time to bring this Daikaiju here, so that he could kill him, so that he can use the full power of his suit. He uses the power of his suit's 92. On the other hand, Keiru's friend Mina was about to be killed by a Hanju, but 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐀 transforms his legs in time and saves Minash. She was surprised and asks 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐻 if he has learned to use the comet power of his suit. 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐻 gets nervous and starts saying anything. During this, the Hojo was about to attack them once again, but at the right time, Kiko comes there and kills that Hojo. Kiko says that she and Reno Hanju will take care of him. Meanwhile, Minash and 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐻 take the injured to a safe place. Reno also forbids 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐻 from taking any risk this time. He says that 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐻 is now a full-time officer. He will have to trust his colleagues, after which they all together confront Hojo, and at the same time, the report comes that all the off-duty officers have also returned, and now people are overpowering Hanju's army. On the other hand, Vice Captain Hoshino was attacking the gaps between the hard shells of that Daikaiju and cutting off his body parts. Now you are making me feel bad. What will you do if I arrest them? But Kaiju was under a big misconception. Hoshino cuts his chest with a cross slash, after which he cuts his other hand and his body into pieces. Actually, targeting the gaps was just to deceive him. In the end, Hoshino cuts his neck too, but he still had life left. Now Jakivo regains his body's region and starts attacking Hoshino faster than before. He was also enjoying fighting with Hoshino, but Hoshino cuts his hands into pieces, and now his core was also visible. Hoshino uses the hardened form of his technique and cuts his body into pieces, but still something was wrong. 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐻 is angry beyond limits. The presence of a powerful Kaiju was being felt. Suddenly the body of that Kaiju starts swelling strangely. Its size had become very big. It starts emitting a heat wave of high ultra temperature all around. Scientist Kuromi tells that along with the heat, the fortitude of that kaiju is also increasing. It had transformed into a giant kaiju whose fortitude was 99.0. We come to know that before attacking Hoshino's core, that kaiju had shifted its core. As we know that the vice captain is not very good in terms of big kaiju, despite this, he tries to weaken it by hitting Pegilati on its body, but his sword was useless for a giant kaiju whose skin is so hard. Despite this, Hoshino was not retreating, but Hoshino's suit had now overheated. Now he will be able to use his suit for a few more minutes. On top of this, these flying kaiju are coming near Hoshino and exploding. Hoshino, somehow he was able to save himself again and again, but due to these explosions, smoke gets created there. Taking advantage of which, he dodges at Kaiju and comes to the building behind it, and using the strong form of his technique, he was going to destroy its core. But in this form, he had countless eyes. He hits Hoshino with a strong kick, due to which he broke many buildings and fell far away. Everyone starts thinking that Hoshino is dead. We are shown Hoshino's past. Hoshino belongs to a samurai family. He was good at swordsmanship by birth, and by joining the defense force, he wanted to protect everyone. But in today's modern time, the sword has become just history among the people. Now the story comes back to the present. Kuromi had gone mad because in such a difficult time she had lost a great officer. Then Hoshino says that he is alive. He had set his shield to maximum. Despite this, he has got hurt a lot and somehow stands back on his feet. But now as the suit has reached its limit, Kazu is also looking for Hoshino, breaking every building. As soon as he sees him, he punches him hard. But Hoshino takes a long jump and uses the first form of her technique on his face. But all this was of no use. His healing ability had become many times more powerful than before. The condition of both Hoshi and him was going from bad to worse. Once again, the story goes back to the past. Hoshino's father was asking her to give up her stubbornness of joining the defense force because Hoshino's combat power with guns is very low and he will not be able to face Kazu with swords. Some years passed, but Hoshino did not give up her stubbornness, and people gave their advice. But Mina told her something else. She wanted to keep Hoshino in her team. She believed that a day would come when they would face a small but powerful Kazu, and Captain Mina is not good at short-range fights. That day, only Hoshino's technique would be useful to everyone. She was the only one, the one who had accepted Hoshino. That is why he will not disappoint Mina under any circumstances. He starts using every form of his technique, but when he was about to use his sixth form, then Kazu catches him in his hands and starts crushing Vice Captain Hoshino between his hands. To save Hoshino, Kafka was about to transform in front of everyone. Run and Kafka were trying to stop him, but then a voice comes in everyone's earphones. Hoshino smiles and then a blast happens on that Kazu in which his hand got separated from the body, and Hoshino gets freed from his clutches. Mina this. She had reached there and connected another shot on the Kaiju, which destroyed his other hand too. Then this Y1 type Kaiju started exploding near Mina. Hoshino understood that even Mina alone will not be able to kill him. She will have to create an opportunity for him. Somehow he uses his Suit 63 power and attacks the Kaju's legs, so that he cannot move from his place, but all this was of no use. His injuries were healing immediately. Then Kikyo comes there and attacks his legs with her axe, but there was not even a scratch from her attack. Hoshino praises Kikyo and says that he will open his skin, after which Geru will attack his injury. This method worked, and the Kaiju comes on his knees, but these people will not be able to do this again. After fighting so many Hoshino, Keiru's suit had also overheated, but Mina also got a chance to attack the core of that Kaiju. The core of that Kaiju was exposed. This is the last bullet. All the officers were not letting any Hoju reach Mina. Hoshino climbs on his body and starts damaging his body as much as possible, but in this process he came right in front of his face. But Mina also got enough time to attack that Kazu with all her strength. The attack tears apart the body of the Kazu. His severed head was screaming. His severed head falls on the ground. Finally, that Kazu was dead. Everything was quiet. When everyone started helping each other, tears came in the eyes of the Kazu. He says that this is the same defense team which he always wanted to join, which he always wanted to be a part of. Reno makes fun of his emotional face. On the other hand, Hoshino now asks Kaoru to rest. He will take care of the remaining Hoju. Then Mina hits him, because Hoshino also needed rest. The members of the 3rd Division also asked Mina to rest. Multiple shots. Because of this, his own suit was also left at Power 1. Then suddenly Mina's tiger roars loudly. All of them see that all the Hanju are making a big Kazu bomb together. Scientist Chromie tells that this bomb is as powerful as a nuclear bomb. Now they understand why that Daikazu screamed before his death. Hoshino stops all the officers from shooting. This bomb will explode immediately. They don't even have time to run. Everyone will be killed here. That Kazu still had some life left, he says. That neither you one nor I am coming. Then Kafka starts running fast towards a bomb. Hoshino was trying to stop him. He says that he will not be able to do anything. But suddenly he realizes that Kafka is running very fast. It is impossible for someone who cannot use the power of one of his suit to make such a jump. Kafka had transformed into Kazu number 8 in front of everyone. Hoshino was suspicious of Kafka from the beginning, but with time, she started liking him, due to which she ignored the possibility of Kafka being a kaiju. Kafka himself was sad, but his friends' lives are more important than his emotions. He gathers all his strength and starts moving towards a bomb. Kafka starts pushing the bomb away from the ground into the sky with all his strength. Mina asks all the officers to turn on the shield on max and lie down on the ground. Kafka also falls on the ground. As soon as the bomb explodes, the surrounding area starts getting destroyed badly. Kafka was standing like a rock in front of everyone and bearing that pressure. When things calm down, Kafka is arrested for being a kaiju. Immediately this news reached the seniors of the High Command. They believed that this thing should be hidden from Kimmia and he should be killed, and his body should be used as a weapon. But Kiko's father, Director General of Defense Force Isha, and Shinomiya decide that the decision will be taken only after bringing him here. A whole day had passed in holding Kafka. Kafka is locked in a high-security chamber. He is not even trying to free himself. He is just thinking about Mina, what she must be thinking about him. Then Mina and other officers come there. The time had come to take Kafka to the main headquarters. Everything was happening peacefully. Kafka was also quiet. He knew that he had lost the right to apologize. Kafka is loaded in the truck. During this, he was not able to look into Reno's eyes. After all, he has failed all her efforts. But before the door closes, Reno comes forward and says that he will wait for him to come. After the truck stops, Mina says that there is no camera here and tells that she is collecting statements and footage of people to help him. She tells him that in the 3rd Division, no one considers him an enemy. Rather, everyone considers him a hero. After this, Kafka is tied up again. Kafka asks Mina if he will still get a chance to stand with him. Mina was also sad. She says that she has been waiting for that moment, and on hearing this from Minaki, Kafka's eyes start tearing up. The truck moves towards the base. During this, on the command of the vice captain, all the officers salute. This salute was supposed to be for Mina, but we all know the truth. It has been a year since this happened in Arya's main headquarters base, where Kafka is imprisoned in the strong chamber of the T-gates. Kafka's friends were sitting at a place and talking about Kafka, when Baru says that Kafka's future will be decided by the Neutralization Bureau. Haruichi is also his. A person becoming a kaiju is like a nightmare. If this thing comes out in the open, then there will be an atmosphere of fear all around. People will be afraid to trust another person. Mina is also trying her best. She has prepared a thick document on Kafka. On the other hand, Eguru asks the vice captain about Kafka. The vice captain also wants Kafka to return because he has to settle his accounts with him. Hoshino is angry because Kafka did not use his full strength against Hoshino that night. We see Kiko outside the Director General's office, who went to talk to her father about Kafka with great courage. She somehow asked her father not to kill Kafka, but give him a minor punishment because Kafka had saved her life. Hearing this, Aisao shouts because in reality, Kiko was also telling about her failures. He shows 𝐂𝐤𝐿 the X-ray report of Kafka, which is absolutely shocking. She looked normal, but 𝐂𝐤𝐿 tells her that the heart is actually not a heart but a core. Hearing this, Kaoru could not believe it. He meant that inside Kafka's body, there is a core of a 𝐂𝐤𝐿 and not a human heart. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 reminds Kaoru that it was a 𝐂𝐤𝐿 who killed her mother. After this, Kaoru could not say anything and starts leaving from there, but before leaving she says that she still trusts him. On the other hand, due to the destruction of the base in the 𝐂𝐤𝐿 attack, Reno, Haru Baru, and Haruichi are being sent for training to another base, and these 4 are being sent because these 4 are the most talented new officers. Hearing this, Haru becomes happy, but Haru thought there was some other reason because these 4 were the closest to Kafka, so maybe on the pretext of training these 4 to another base, their activities will be monitored. Haru asks Mina about this, and if this is true, then he is refusing to follow the order. Minashi clearly says that Kafka has nothing to do with this. Then Reno says that he will go. Haru was the most surprised. He asks Reno to think once again, but Reno has taken a decision. After some time, we see Haruichi sitting alone on the terrace. He was scrolling contacts on his phone. Then Baru also comes there talking. Seeing Haruji there, he starts leaving from there. Haru stops him. We come to know that Baru also wants to save Kafka. Earlier, Baru was on a good post in the army, so he is trying to get help from there. On the other hand, Kafka, who has been imprisoned till now, was remembering Mina's words that if he proves that he is a human, then maybe he can be released. But for this, everyone will have to listen to him. Then Director General 𝐂𝐤𝐿 himself comes there, and Kaiju was also present there. Kafka was shouting that he is a human. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 Kafka. Kafka gives orders to open the shackles. One operator was hesitant to do so. Director 𝐂𝐤𝐿 looks at him angrily and says that if this is really a 𝐂𝐤𝐿 class, then he can also blow away the handcuffs. He is sitting here because he wants to sit. Kafka's handcuffs are opened. Kafka thought that 𝐂𝐤𝐿 will listen to him, but he sees that 𝐂𝐤𝐿 has pointed a gun at him. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 starts shooting multiple times at him, which Kafka stops with his hands. Kafka was unable to understand anything. The very next moment, 𝐂𝐤𝐿 presses his stomach and collects the blood sample. Eve tells Kafka that the one who can stop bullets with his hands cannot be a human being. Kaoru was scared. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 was about to leave from there when Kafka says that he is not 𝐂𝐤𝐿 number 8, but Kafka Hibino. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 stops. On his signal, the safety formalities are approved, and the officer who was carrying the suitcase from the beginning actually had a special weapon in it. This special weapon of 𝐂𝐤𝐿 is made from the body of Kaiju number 2. Kafka thinks that he will not transform himself while fighting 𝐂𝐤𝐿 so that he can prove that he is not Kaiju, but he does not even get a chance to react, and in the first attack itself, one of his hands gets cut. In just 2 attacks, Kafka was forced to transform. Let me tell you that 𝐂𝐤𝐿 and Shinomiya were the most powerful defense force officers of their time. Kafka tries to escape from 𝐂𝐤𝐿's attack, but both of them were very fast. Kafka thinks that he will have to escape from 𝐂𝐤𝐿 until his suit overheats, which was not possible. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 comes in front of him and punches his body very hard, and in one more punch, both his legs and hands were destroyed, which Kafka regenerates immediately. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 had made Kafka's condition very bad. Kafka does not understand one more thing. Why is his body reacting the way it does while fighting with Kaiju? Kafka realized that his body is mistaking 𝐂𝐤𝐿 to be Kaiju. In 1972, when Kafka number 2 completely destroyed the Sapple City, he was the second Kaiju who was given the number. He was very powerful and stubborn. 𝐂𝐤𝐿's weapon and suit was made from his body, and no one except O has been able to use it till date. Kafka tries to run away, but his body and legs have been cut off, of which he did not even realize. Another powerful punch was given right on Kafka's core, due to the power of which a huge explosion took place there. When the smoke cleared, it was seen that Kafka had come in his full form and he blocked 𝐂𝐤𝐿's punch. But this time something was different. Kafka was looking very scary. His behavior was starting to become like the real Kaizo. We come to know that Kafka has lost control over his body. In front of Kafka was the same Kazu with whom all this had started. Suddenly Kafka's speed had increased a lot. He jumps on 𝐂𝐤𝐲𝐫𝐢. Suddenly the scene goes to Reno and 𝐂𝐤𝐲 who were doing physical training. 𝐂𝐤𝐲 asks Reno what is going on in his mind. He also said yes to the 2nd Division training. Reno says that he wants to become powerful. Haru does not like this answer. Reno says that he has to become powerful as soon as possible so that when 𝐂𝐤𝐿 returns, he can protect him and not him. Reno has not given up hope yet. When 𝐂𝐤𝐿 returns, he has to look powerful in front of him. Hearing this, 𝐂𝐤𝐲 also gets excited and starts training. Then the platoon leaders come there who tell that today a decision is going to be taken on 𝐂𝐤𝐿, and that is why no one is going to take action against him. He is not able to concentrate on any work. Then Mina tells him that nothing will happen to 𝐂𝐤𝐿. Everyone has sent an apology letter for 𝐂𝐤𝐿, and that is why Mina has been called to the headquarters. Runo did not know about this. Mina thinks that there must be some good news. That is why Mina has been called. But here we see that Mina is being treated very coldly. She's been asked to wait till Kafka's exam is over. On the other hand, 𝐂𝐤𝐿 was out of control. Kaoru shouts and tries to stop him, but it is of no use. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 attacks 𝐂𝐤𝐿 with his full strength. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 escaped from that attack, but 𝐂𝐤𝐿 breaks his waist and turns completely and attacks unexpectedly. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 blocks that attack. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 is fighting like a mad animal who knows that his body will regenerate. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 starts hitting multiple powerful punches on Eve, which he retreats due to not being able to bear. They go there and admit that if Kazu No. 2's armor was not there, he would have died by now. In this, Kaoru does a sonic boom attack on Kafka's core, which was Kazu No. 2's special range attack. But 𝐂𝐤𝐿 is surprised to see that Kazu No. 8's body does not have a core. We see that Kazu No. 8 regenerates 𝐂𝐤𝐿's entire body with his core. He appeared behind 𝐂𝐤𝐿, after which there is a clash between the two again. Due to so much pressure, the second layer of the shelter, which was very strong, gets destroyed. Actually, the fight was between Kazu No. 8 and Kazu No. 2. A senior officer says with surprise that if 𝐂𝐤𝐿 had to kill 𝐂𝐤𝐿, he could have killed him in his first attack itself when 𝐂𝐤𝐿 was in his human form. It seems as if 𝐂𝐤𝐿 is testing 𝐂𝐤𝐿 when Kaoru realizes that it was on his insistence that his father is giving 𝐂𝐤𝐿 a chance. On the other hand, Haru, 𝐂𝐤, and Baru were still talking about 𝐂𝐤𝐿. Baru wants to save 𝐂𝐤𝐿. Haru, 𝐂𝐤 asks him, but he is a human Kazu. Baru believes that a person should be judged by his behavior and not by his appearance. After listening to him, Haru Ichi finally understood what he should do. On the other hand, during the fight, Kazu No. 8 had badly injured 𝐂𝐤. Suddenly, Kazu No. 8's color and his stature had completely changed. He had become many times more powerful. The battle which Eve was dominating from the beginning, he now looked helpless in front of Kazu No. 8. Kazu No. 2 is nothing in front of Kazu No. 8's real power. He picks up 𝐂𝐤 and starts crushing him with his hands and can see all this. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 was not able to do anything. Then Kafka's eyes fall on 𝐾𝐈𝐒𝐿. Whatever happens, 𝐂𝐤𝐿 will not let 𝐾𝐈𝐒𝐿's father die in front of 𝐾𝐈𝐒𝐿. Kazu No. 8 starts beating 𝐂𝐤 badly. Seeing all this, Kaoru's eyes were filled with tears. She remembers what she had said that if 𝐂𝐤𝐿 becomes that Kaiju who is killing humans, then she herself will destroy 𝐂𝐤𝐿. Thinking this, she starts crying more, but even now her heart trusts 𝐂𝐤𝐿. Kaoru shouts and tells 𝐂𝐤𝐿 not to let that Kaiju dominate you. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 was also fighting his battle inside, but now that Kaiju was going to eat 𝐂𝐤𝐿, 𝐂𝐤𝐿 thinks that why everything always gets ruined in the end. That Kaiju had eaten 𝐂𝐤𝐿, after which we see 𝐂𝐤𝐿 drowning somewhere. Kaiju No. 8 was also going to kill 𝐂𝐤𝐿. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 says in his last words that he had hoped from Kaiju No. 8, but on the other hand, 𝐂𝐤𝐿 has accepted his defeat and has stopped trying. Then there is a light. A hand which had held Kafka's hand was Mina's hand. She says that she has been waiting for him since a long time. We see that the punch which was given by Kafka's hand is not enough. Kazu No. 8 was about to kill 𝐂𝐤𝐿, but he kills him on his own, which nobody had expected. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 says that he is not Kazu No. 8, but 𝐂𝐤𝐿 Hibino, after which 𝐂𝐤𝐿 faints and Kazu No. 8's body starts disappearing. 𝐂𝐤𝐿 asks Harumi to put back the weapon, which was about to kill 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑 immediately. 𝐂𝐒𝐒 calls the medical team to treat 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑. After this, once again a meeting of the seniors is held, where Captain Mina is asked for her opinion on 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑. Here the issue was also raised that Mina knew 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑 before his joining. Mina says that this is absolutely true, but he has not given him any special treatment. Although Mina's opinion was based on the paper and it is just a formality for the work, the decision of Kaiju number 8 has been taken. Only Mina is being given a chance to put her point. Mina leaves the decision to decide whether 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑 is a human or a Kaiju to the seniors. She tells them about Officer 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑. Officer 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑 had helped the defense force by finding the weak points of Kaiju and his reproductive organs during 𝐂𝐨𝐩𝐲𝐫𝐢 neutralization, and he has also saved the lives of his comrades many times by hiding. Especially during the fight with Kaiju number 8, he saved the entire 3rd Division from being destroyed. And similarly, Mina was telling all the good things of 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑 to the seniors. During this, we see another past of Mina and 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑. When Mina lost her cat, she was very sad at that time. It was only 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑 who stood with her at that time. Mina says that the seniors should take the decision of 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑 by looking at his heart, which is clear. Sitting silently, the madman is saying the same things 10 times. All the seniors get angry after hearing this. 𝐂𝐒𝐒 sends Mina back to her post, after which there was only talk of killing 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑. On the other side, we see 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑, who was remembering the moment when Mina's cat died. At that time, 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑 was hating himself that he could not help Mina. That day, 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑 had promised himself that he will take revenge from Kazu for making Mina cry. That is why during the fight, 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑 attacked his core and he died like a human being. 𝐂𝐒𝐂𝐑 opens his eyes and finds himself in the hospital. 𝐂𝐒𝐑 was shocked to see 𝐂𝐸 there. 𝐂𝐒𝐒 asks 𝐂𝐒𝐑 to calm down and says that he has not come to kill him, but actually 𝐂𝐒𝐑 was happy to see him, because if 𝐂𝐒𝐑 had been killed by him, then he would never have been able to face Kakoki. Then 𝐂𝐒𝐑 has been realized, and now he is also a part of the defense force. And Shinomiya says that if 𝐂𝐒𝐑 really had a human heart, he would have been killed by him by now, but due to having a core, he is still alive. The council also considers 𝐂𝐒𝐑 to be a Kaiju, but whether he is a threat or not has not been decided yet. But many seniors do not want to see 𝐂𝐒𝐑 alive. During the council meeting, 𝐂𝐒𝐒 had decided that 𝐂𝐒𝐑 Hibino, i.e. Kaiju number 8, will fight on his behalf. This decision of his creates a stir in the entire council meeting. While putting forth his point, 𝐂𝐒𝐒 says that the way so many Kaiju are appearing these days, they will need the power of Kaiju number 8 to face them. While putting forth his point, he reminds everyone of the time of Kaiju number 6, during whose attack more than 200 officers and 3 captains were killed, one of whom was Gora's mother. But despite this, everyone was against 𝐸𝐸's decision. That is why 𝐂𝐒𝐒, taking Kafka's name, says that he will have to prove himself if he wants to stay alive. Here, 𝐂𝐒𝐑 is being used as a weapon. 𝐂𝐒𝐑 says that he is an officer of the defense force, and one day 𝐂𝐒𝐒 will also accept this. We see that everyone has received the news of 𝐂𝐒�'s survival, and now everyone is relieved, but now things will not be so easy. Voice Captain Hoshino tells that if it is known outside the force that there is a Kaiju with the 3rd Division, then the result of this cannot be guessed. On the other hand, 𝐂𝐒𝐑 has fallen asleep while talking to 𝐂𝐒𝐒, and 𝐂𝐒𝐒 is trying to wake him up. By the way, all this time Kaiju number 9 was preparing himself. He has understood human thinking, and the time has come to execute his plan. The purpose of Kaiju number 9 is to snatch back the powers of Kaiju from humans, and this season of Kaiju number 8 ends here. And this is good news for you that Kaiju number 8 is coming back next year with its 2nd season. That is, you do not have to wait much to know the further story. It will take only 1 year. We have waited longer than this for our favorite anime, but it has not returned yet. By the way, with whom do you want to see 𝐂𝐒𝐑, Mina, or Kiko? Do tell us in the comments, and if you want to see both of them with me, then please like this video and subscribe to the channel.